All right, y'all, welcome back to the shop. Today, I got a few things I'm working on, but I want to cover something because I had a lot of questions after the last video where I threw out a bunch of tires. A little update, Brady, our son, took a bunch of those tires to the dump today, and here we found out that the tires went from $2 a piece to get rid of them to $5 a piece to get rid of them. So a side-by-side tire is $5 a piece to get rid of it now. And I don't know about the bigger tires. Brady didn't ask, but the guy said, yep, price went up. They're $5 a tire now. We have a big problem with people throwing tires out in the middle of nowhere, out in the woods and back roads and everything. And you guys can jump in on this. Is there another option to get rid of tires? Because I know sometimes, like some of you said those tires would be good for mulch, different things like that. So I don't know. I don't get it. But anyhow, I guess that's for another time, but I'm a little frustrated that they're $5 a piece now to get rid of them instead of $2 a piece. I had several questions about tires. I had questions about the Sedona Ridge Saw, Trail Saw, those tires, and I'm gonna cover a couple other tires. And then at the very end here, the wrap up, I'm gonna tell you which tire I would pick and why, because it has a lot to do with using a tire on a side-by-side, or even an ATV. But anyhow, I'll get to that. So for now, I'm gonna talk to y'all that ask me tire questions, and then also I'm gonna go over with you vulcanized patching the sidewalls. I had a couple people say, you mentioned that in your video. I don't know what you're doing or what you're using. How do you do that? So I'm gonna show you what I use and tell you how I do it. So let me just start off with saying, first of all, up front, full disclaimer, I don't have any tire sponsors. So if I mention a tire and I tell you I'm using that tire, I bought that tire. It's not that the tire was given to me. We used to work with Western Power Sports in Sedona. Since they have gotten sold, I don't know a single person at Western Power Sports, not one. Every single friend that I've had there over the years are all gone. So whatever tire I talk to you about, and please, this is a back and forth deal. Please feel free to chime in with what works for you. Now, what works for you may not work for me. I had a couple guys ask about like bighorns. We do have some bighorns, and I'm actually gonna show those to you. We do have bighorns on our Yamaha X2 1000. We have 4,000 miles on those tires. Those tires have performed pretty good. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's just not even beat around the bush. Let's go see them. So these tires have performed pretty good. This unit has over 4,000 miles on it. We would have gotten a little bit better mileage out of these tires if we had rotated them a little bit more often, because it is a square tire setup and you can rotate front to back, and it's just like your car. And that, to me, is the ultimate setup. I try not to run anything other than square tire setup so I can rotate the tires. Here's our X2 1000. You know, front tires, I mean, they're still, you know, pretty decent. They're not bad. And then the back tires, you know, they're getting down here. Definitely wearing down a little bit. You know, you can see that one right there. Yeah, it's getting wore down a little bit. That's not bad. And actually, I've not had a single problem out of these tires. Bighorn 2.0s, I've had problems with in the past. They've ripped the lugs right out of the tire itself. The sidewalls are bad, the lugs are bad for me. That's just how I use them. Oh, and here's a bunch of crap I'm getting rid of. I got a couple boxes. Windshields. I'm gonna talk to you all about windshields. I'm gonna do a video on windshields. And I'm gonna tell you what we like, what we don't like, because here's the deal. Over the last 4 years with our off-road rentals, I've spent over $100,000 on windshields. That is polycarbonate, hard coat, whatever you want to call them, windshield, and that's glass windshields. That's with wiper, without wiper, that's flip up, not flip up. So I'm gonna do a video on that, and I'm gonna tell you all about what windshield is the best windshield for the money and why. So I got that video coming, so stay tuned for that one. Let's talk about these tires right here. So this one right here is the Sedona Ridge Saw. I've run this tire on are rentals. I've run it on my personal units. This is a wheel that's off of the X2 1000. I actually used this tire and wheel combination when I went to Hatfield McCoy last year. Some of you may have seen that video. I didn't like this setup because the wheel for me on the X2 1000 sets out a little bit too far. This is a 5+2. I really like a 6+1 because that's pretty close to stock, keeps the tires in under the wheel wells. You don't get real muddy. These tires, they are excellent for side-by-sides. We use them on ATVs too, but they are excellent for side-by-sides. This here is the trail saw. Here's one right here. This was before the ridge saw. The Rockabilly was before the trail saw. I can give you a complete breakdown if you want on Sedona tires, which ones I like, which ones I don't like, which ones I would actually pay money for, and which ones that I would throw in the garbage. Here's a brand new trail saw. Kind of see what that's like there. The ridge saw, we're getting a solid 8,000, 9,000 miles out of those. So we're doing really, really good on those. As far as puncture resistance, man, I hardly ever have to plug a ridge saw. They ride good, they handle good, they're good in all conditions as far as off-road conditions and terrain. If you are running like hard top, Hatfield McCoy, doing a lot of road riding, and you're doing that kind of thing, you are probably looking for like an all-terrain tire. That's why we run these tires, because we run a lot of dirt and hard top, and they just work out really good for us. If you are running soft terrain all the time or hard pack, and you're not doing very much road riding at all, this here is not a bad tire. This is a Sedona Mud Rebel RT. Not a bad tire, but if you're gonna run this on the hard top, this won't last. It's gonna ride a little rougher and it won't last. It's kind of like if you put a mud terrain tire on your truck, or you put an all-terrain tire on your truck. The all-terrain tire is gonna ride better, handle better. The mud terrain is gonna look awesome. It's gonna look great, but it's not gonna handle as well, and it's not gonna hold up as well as like an all-terrain. Now here's another one that we've been kind of using off and on. This is a BFGoodrich KM3 side-by-side tire. This tire here is a great tire as well. It wears good, it rides good, it runs good. Hardly ever plug one of these. They are expensive though. They are pretty salty. This is a Sedona Rip Saw. This is a kind of an in-between. This is a really, really good tire. It's very heavy duty carcass. You get great wear out of it. It handles good. It's a little bit more aggressive than like a ridge saw all-terrain. It's kind of a best of both worlds between a mud terrain and an all-terrain. This tire we've had really good luck with. Let me show you, some of you had questions about vulcanizing patches or a patch. So what I have here, and I'll show you where to get this stuff. I just get it off of Amazon, so I don't know. And actually, Gman, you commented. Gman's a friend of ours, lives over towards Murfreesboro, Tennessee. He's actually the guy that we bought our tire changer off of and our lift over at the shop. And they came and installed everything, took care of it for us. So Gman knows a lot about tires and knows a lot about equipment. And he actually commented on a video yesterday and said, hey, if you need any help, let me know. He is like, you know, tire Jesus. The dude knows a lot of stuff about tires and fixing them. This is, and I guess you say Steelman, I don't know. 2-inch universal patch, 1/4-inch repair. So if you have like a 1/4-inch sidewall repair, that's a great option. And then here's the cement. And then here's your patch. That patch right there covers a lot of the sidewall punctures that we have. Now, if it's, you know, one of those ones like I had the other day on that video, the octopus tire, you got a whole bunch of plugs all different places. That's not gonna do it. You might as well just throw that one out. And then here's your roller. So you put the patch on the inside and you roll it with this. So the way this works is what I do is I grind down the inside of the tire where the hole is where I want to put this patch. After I grind it down, I put the cement on, and you let the cement kind of dry. You don't put it on there while the cement's wet. So it's not really dry, but it's tacky to the touch. So then you take your patch, you peel that backside off like that right there. You put your patch down, and then you just take and you roll that right into your to your tire to where the hole is. And I'll tell you what, they have held up great. So let me know if you want to see me do a video on how to do that, because it's pretty cool and it does work. So if you have 3 or 4 plugs in a sidewall, you know, that's probably gonna do it. I think we've already used them on stuff that big. As far as the Ridge Saw and the Trail Saw, they're both great tires, but I will tell you this right now, the Ridge Saw rides better. You don't get that kind of squirrely feel. It handles better. It's every bit as good, if not a little better, in mud and all the junk you get out there on the trail, rocks, mud, everything. The Ridge Saw, and here's one of the reasons why I am like super Ridge Saw, like I love this tire, is because it is very quiet on hardtop. So it's a big difference when you're in the machine and you're driving and you don't have that loud tire hum. The Ridge Saw is super, super quiet, very heavy duty, great traction, great mileage out of that thing, 8,000, maybe 9,000, depending if you rotate them a good bit and how much hard pack you do. That's all I got for today, guys. I'll see you. Thanks a lot. Take care. See you next time.